So my time with DragonsEnvy ended kind of abruptly and a little bit earlier than I expected. So I'm going to wrap up two videos into one. We're going to do the assessment and the suggestions I have to make all in one video, and I'll kind of take you through, what happened. So I'm going to have some game video on here, but honestly, a lot of it's going to be some screenshots because of the way everything went down. So the first couple I'm going to have here are from the initial video I did. So my initial interaction with Captain Crunch, who was the co-leader I had the most interaction with the entire time I was in the clan. My initial vibe was he didn't seem happy that I was there. I think he was a little upset by the fact that I was even asked to show up at all. So I did feel a little bit threatened vibe maybe. I mean, I can't say 100% that's what was going on, but you can see from the text here that he talked about how he'd been in the clan before. He really wanted to keep this a laid-back clan. I tried to let him know that my intent was not to change this clan into a war clan, but try and help grow and help, I don't know, just hone the identity they were trying to do. And, my initial vibe was that everything was that way. And then here's another screenshot from the initial video where, I'm trying to let him know my take on it. And honestly, even though I felt like he wasn't happy with my presence there, it was good that he wants to protect the clan, because I mean that's how you should be. Protect the group, your friends you got, the as he mentions in one of the video or one of the moments here, the family he's trying to protect, and that's good. He's trying to make sure everybody, it's what he wants it to be. And so as time went on, I was asking him different questions about what their recruiting goals are, what town halls they look for, what kind of players, what do they typically ask when they're recruiting. I asked a couple of questions about how they conduct their wars and coordinate wars. Now he's the one I had the most interaction with, but it seemed pretty benign mostly. And so let's see, I'm gonna get some more screenshots up here and we'll talk about those. Sorry for the gradiness of this one, but they do mention that they use Clash Caller when they're coordinating their wars. So before I would leave for work, I would make sure I take a picture of the tablet that I run this on, get the code so I could go in and make my war calls just like they do, just like they ask for. And so I did that the previous war, did it in the current war. And for a laid back clan, there's even a message in here from him about mentioning donation ratios, which is pretty normal, but he's talking about recruiting new members, keep the family together and stuff like that. So I don't know where that came from. I don't think that was directed at me. My donations were basically 1-to-1, or maybe a little bit more on the receive than donated, but it was pretty close. But yeah, they use Clash Caller. I put my stuff in like I was told to, and I'll get to some of the degrading part of it when it happens from there. So when I first got there, they were in this war here against Hell's Assassins. They ended up losing due to percentage, and mostly there was actually a couple attacks left on the board. They easily could have won if a person or two had shown up or maybe hit a little differently in the war. But they handled it well. And I've noticed that when maybe somebody had a bad attack or something, they were very supportive and they said positive things to everybody. So I mean, as far as being laid back, that portion of it to me seemed to hold true. Then here's the other war we were in. This is the first one I was in. Made my call on war caller like I was supposed to, like a clan member. And we lost, whatever. Again, a lot of positivity with the group. Nobody was really blaming anybody. So, like I said, the initial vibe on all that was good. They were doing the things that I more or less expected a laid-back clan that, they want to win wars, they want to play in wars, but they aren't taking them overly seriously. They were doing the things that I more or less expected was going to happen, which was good. It means they were holding to their identity. Then the current war started, and here we go back with some more screenshots to the chat. I wish I would have thought to go further up in the chat and capture it, because before the small chat window that I'm going to show you here, he had mentioned earlier that I didn't make my call on Clash Caller, and obviously I did. But here's the little chat on that, him talking about how he needed to demote me. He didn't see that I had done it. So I was a little confused, and once I realized what was going on here, I decided, okay, I need to start taking some screenshots. And again, I wish I had gone up a little higher, because you can see the Captain Crunch really does seem loyal to Woody. Their interaction is good. He really likes it. I just don't think that he liked that I was there ultimately. So let me pull up the Clash Caller So once I started realizing what was going on, I made sure to try to take screenshots so that I could send them to Woody and let him know what was going on and, you know, why I left and why I wasn't coming back. So yeah, once it started de-evolving into the fact that I was going to be, you could tell that he wanted to kick me. And it's sad too, because here's my call, right? I have the time tag up here. The fact that we both, I mean, I love AC/DC. Thunderstruck, best song of all time. And here he is. He likes AC/DC also. So I thought for sure, like, okay, we actually have some stuff in common. You know, he may have felt like he didn't really want me there initially, but I didn't think that it was going to be such a big deal. So let me bring up some more of the other chat stuff. So once I refreshed my own browser a couple times to make sure that, you know, the calls I made had actually gone in. After he'd already demoted me, like I said, I took a couple screenshots and then I told him, I was like, hey, just try refreshing your browser, because, you know, when I'm on my own page, clanconsultant.com, you know, it doesn't always show the videos I put on there. Even though I may open a new window and go to the page, I actually have to refresh the page I'm on for some of the new content to show up. So I thought maybe that was happening with him. So I was trying to say, you know, try refreshing your browser. But for whatever reason, he just did not like that I was trying to validate that I had made the calls, that I mean, here I am telling him, you know, which calls I see everybody else is on there. You saw from the log, almost nobody had made any calls anyway, and the war had already started. But, you know, he comes to the conclusion that I'm gone. And so he booted me. I actually expected a little bit more of a, you know, personalized message, quite honestly, after the way that went down, but it wasn't. It was just a quick boot. And I don't know. Like I said, I don't understand why it de-evolved the way that it went down, but wait till you see the next one. I think he actually refreshed the browser or something and realized that maybe he had been a bit hasty, because he went in and removed me from the Clash caller page. Just removed me altogether. The comment, my band thing, my name and everything. Just dropped me off of there. And I think he was hoping that maybe Woody and everybody else wouldn't have noticed that I actually had, you know, made the call like I was supposed to. So, you know, he's trying to justify his position a little bit. I get that. You know, like I said, if he felt threatened by me being there to begin with, I get it. I'm sure my coming in there, and, you know, if everybody doesn't know why I'm there, they may feel a little threatened by it or whatever. But either way, he actually went back and covered his tracks, which I find is a bit interesting. It shows a lot about, you know, the type of person that you have there. So you got to be careful when you promote people. You need to know who you're promoting. But again, I don't know. I don't want to judge him too harshly. I think he just was not happy with the fact that I got called in at all to just, you know, come in and expose the clan a little bit and talk to him and maybe make a couple of suggestions. And I don't know. Maybe he just didn't feel it was needed, but that's what happened. So before I made the video, I mean, right away last night, I felt the first thing I should do is I contacted Woody, who was the one that emailed me to begin with. Sent him the same screenshots I showed you guys. Had a quick explanation of what was going down, what my assessment of it was, and, you know, I told him good luck. And I still have suggestions for him. This isn't just gonna be a let me play the drama of how this went down. I have some suggestions from the little bit that I did observe. But he did express how he was conflicted about it all. He did actually see that I had made the calls on there, so he, you know, he's fully aware that, you know, Crunch went back and tried to do a little bit of a cover-up, which is, like I said, it's kind of funny to me, but it is what it is. So let's get to the suggestions from the little bit I did observe, and you know, hopefully it'll help them out in the future. All right, let's take a look. All right, so my first suggestion is regarding Clash Caller. It has nothing to do with how this all went down. I was going to make the suggestion no matter what, but I don't know if you really need it for Small Wars. I do understand that it allows you to put some personalized messages up there, so you get to put some good stuff in there. It helps give personality of the clan. I like the previous clan, or the previous war, we put, you know, you're supposed to put your favorite color, and then this one was your band, so it allows some, you know, personality of the clan to come out, which I think is really good. But your wars aren't very big, 10s and 15s. You know, we run 10s and 15s in the Monarchy, and we take it, you know, we take our wars a little more seriously, but we don't use anything like this at all. We just use the messaging app, and when you have smaller wars, it's a lot easier just to say, you know, hit your mirrors, or maybe a couple quick assignments here and there. I think it'll take the pressure off of some of the different players that may not be as experienced. So I don't know. My suggestion is you don't need Clash Caller, and it may be adding some added pressure onto players who may not actually need the added pressure. So I don't know. I would say you don't need Clash Caller, but I understand some of the use of it you're getting out of it. So that kind of leads me to the next one, whether or not you're laid back. Again, a lot of my interaction was with Captain Crunch anyway, but he didn't really give me the impression that, I mean, he wanted to be laid back, and his interaction with you was very laid back, but I don't know if he's 100% as laid back as you want it to be. Again, he was handling the Clash Caller thing very seriously. He booted me right away, and again, I think part of that is he just didn't want me there, so he used it as an excuse to get rid of me. But you need to, like, Clash Caller doesn't really lean to a laid back clan. I mean, the stuff you have in there is good, and it helps it make it feel a little more laid back, I think. But the necessity for players to go in there and call their attacks out, and people need to follow it, and obviously if you're not doing something, you might get booted. I mean, I noticed most of the clan was still in there, and I mean, as you saw from the couple of snapshots I had before, almost nobody had made any calls. So I doubt a lot of it had to do with, oh, he didn't follow the plan, so he's out. I think it was just I wasn't wanted. But I mean, things like Clash Caller, to me, are for if you're running bigger wars, or if you're taking your wars a little more seriously, where you need to really identify who hits what targets because you need them 3-starred. I don't think you need it if you're trying to be laid back. I think you, especially now that the messages can come out, the mails can come out every hour, you can really manage things quite easily through there and get a lot of the messages you want to cross out. And it goes directly to every player, whereas people have to actually get on Clash Caller, so they're opening something else. And if you're trying to be laid back, having to open multiple apps or go to different web pages, just to me doesn't fit that identity. Now, this next bullet, I don't know your interaction or how long you've known Captain Crunch, so this is kind of a good general one for anyone, but you got to be careful who you promote. I didn't build my clan until actually I'd been around a lot of these players in other clans for a while. I found some friends at play, and so the people I promoted I knew really well already. Even the new leaders, they're usually in my clan for 6 months, some of them longer, before they actually get promoted up to leader status. So you got to be careful who you promote. You got to let time happen so you can see what the personalities of people are, what their actual dispositions are when it comes to different things. I probably personally would have demoted Captain Crunch at this point, maybe all the way down to member, and let him build his way back up. I don't know if I would boot him. Like I said, I think he just didn't like the fact that I was there. So you have to kind of take that a little bit into consideration with him. But I don't know if I would, just for the rest of the group, as an example setting, I personally would not have left him at leader status. But it's not my dynamic, it's not my clan, so I understand why you may do that. He's pretty active, he donates a lot, so you run the risk of running him out of the clan, which you may not want to do, especially since, like I said, when I would read through the chat, Woody and the captain seem to have good interaction, so I don't know if I'd run him out of the clan, but you need to have a little more explanation of your expectations with him. I think you guys are almost on the same page, but maybe the way that you implement things or you execute things may not be the same. And lastly, you got to keep recruiting. I know you've got a lot of accounts in there, and so a lot of the clan is you, but just keep recruiting. You can't stop. It's the weirdest thing of the game. You can't stop recruiting. You have to constantly keep going. We were at in my clan, we were at 47. We're now down to 40, so there's 10 open slots. I need to bring more people in. Again, we're not really running big wars, and so when people sit out, it affects how many people I can actually bring to a war. So you got to always keep recruiting. Promote some elders. The clan has no elders. That to me is maybe it's because a lot of them are your side accounts. I don't know, but you need to promote some elders. Let them do some of the recruiting for you. You can sort it out. Just let them know they can do all the recruiting they want. Like it, no elders. Let them do some of that recruiting. Then you can go back, and the leaders can manage who's in, who's out, and kick out the guys you don't really want. I wish you the best of luck, Woody. like I said, I know it was an odd way it went down. I don't know if I'd hold it against him too much if he was feeling threatened. It's just human nature. If you're feeling threatened, you're going to handle it the way you want it to be handled. So anyway, good luck. And if I can check back in, I will give you guys some time and try to come back in a little while just to see, you know, if any of these suggestions did get implemented and how those are working out. If nothing else, you know, I tried. So good luck, sir. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. For more tips on running a clan, attacks, or other information, go to clanconsultant.com.